Hello and welcome to UWS Library. In this short video, I'm going to give you some basic information to get you started with using our library service. Now, while I do that, I'm going to put my camera off and then we can get started with the presentation. Where are our libraries? We have 5 physical libraries. There's one located on each of our campuses, and we are also an online library. One of the first things we're often asked by students is how do they get their library card? Well, your student card is your library card, and whether that's a physical card or your digital card, then you can use either of those to borrow and renew books at the self-service kiosks, and you can also use those at the library info points to borrow and renew books. You will need to use your student email account. Emails from the library and the university will come to your student email address. And you will also need your student email address to be able to log into our electronic books and our electronic journals. We have free Wi-Fi at each of our campus library and charging points available for your laptop. There are also computers that you can use in the library, laptops you can borrow, quiet study spaces and group study spaces available as well. How many books can you borrow? Well, undergraduate and postgraduate students can each take 15 books out at a time. PhD students, research students and staff can each have 35. And you can also reserve books for collection at any of our campus libraries. How long can you borrow books for? Undergraduate and postgraduate students can each borrow books for 4 weeks at a time. PhD students and staff for 8 weeks at a time. But all books are subject to recall if they're reserved by another user. If that happens, we would email you to your student email address and you would have a week to return that book. You can borrow and return books at any of our campus libraries. We have an extensive array of library guides, all available from the library website. We have guides on each subject and each program that you might be enrolled in. We have a library skills online program of generic classes that run through the term that you can sign up for. There is a library guide for referencing to help you with that, and we use Cite Them Right Harvard in most of our programs. You can also book support appointments, and there is other help available as well from the library homepage. I'll show you what that looks like shortly. This is a screenshot of the library catalogue OneSearch. And I'm going to show you how to do a quick example search in that shortly as well. We've highlighted in the top right corner there the option to sign in. It's important that you do know that to access some services through OneSearch, you do need to sign in, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. So here's a summary of some of the help available to you, and we really want to stress that if there are things that you need help with using the library or you want to ask us questions, then please really do get in touch. Don't hesitate to get in touch with us. So you can download the UWS student app, which is very helpful. You can come into the library and speak to us at any of our info points, or you can phone us. There's also an email address that you can use to ask us questions, and you can book support appointments. And you can also follow us on social media. Now, I'm going to go to my internet search engine, and I'm going to take you to the library homepage so we can have a quick look at some of the things I've just mentioned. So if you just type UWS Library or UWS Library Guides into your search engine, that will give you the link to connect to our homepage. Now, so there at the top right corner, there's the library email address, so you can email us with questions. There's the link to the self-service portal, which has lots of helpful information. And I mentioned the appointments, so there's a link there to book either individual, online or in-person appointments with a librarian. If I just scroll down a little bit, you can see there's the link to the referencing guide and other helpful links there as well. But principally what I want to show you just now is how to do a quick search in the library catalogue. One search, and so I'll just select this tile, search the collection. So the first thing I'm going to do with one search is to sign in. And once you're signed in, then that gives you the ability to access your virtual library card. So in the top right corner there where my name is now displaying, if I select that drop-down option there, I can get into my virtual library card so I can see what books that I've got out on loan. If I need to renew them, I can renew them. And I could also look to see if there's any progress on requests that I might have in the system. Now I'm just going to do a really quick search, just a very short one, and show you some basic information about using the library catalogue. So if I just type a search into that box where it says search anything, what happens is that several options pop up and you have to choose the type of search that you want to do. So a local search, that basically means searching for books. Articles, that will help you search for journal articles from our electronic subscriptions. And there's also an option for all resources, which would combine those two together. But really, we recommend that you search for books and journal articles separately because they're different types of resources, and you need to do two different types of searches to look effectively for them. So mostly, you would use either local searches or articles. So if I just do a quick search on Scottish education to get some books up, I'm going now just to select that top option there. And you can see we've got more than one version of this book. So we've got print versions there and we've got an electronic version. So let's talk about print books first. So when you click on the title and go into the full display of that particular book, that will show you just how many print copies we have and at which campus library those copies are stored. Okay, and you can see for this particular title, we have copies at all of our libraries as it's an important text. It tells you which copies are actually available, whether they're out on loan or not, and it also gives you a number there. Now that's the Dewey Decimal Classification number. So the print books in our libraries are all arranged in numerical order according to that Dewey Decimal Classification system. And what that does is it groups books on a topic together in one place. So if you were to go to the shelf to find that particular book at that number, you would also find that there would be other books on the same topic shelf there as well. Now the reserve button is displaying just above those. And because I'm signed in, that's displaying. And that gives you access to our reservation service. So if all those books were out on loan or the books were at a different campus library than the one you normally use, you can go in and choose to have that book brought to your campus library. So I won't click request and access that just now. I'll just cancel that. So that's a quick look at print books and how the reservation service works. Let's have a quick look at this electronic book. So again, click the title, go into the full display of the item, and there you will see there's a link to connect you to the electronic version of that book. So we'll just go into that. Now on the screen, you can see that we have two options. We either need to choose to read it online, which will take us straight into the full text of the book now, or we can choose the download option. Now, I really need to stress that that download option is a temporary download. So you can't download and keep permanently the full text of a whole book because that would be against the copyright legislation. So you can do a temporary download if you need to read the book while you don't have Wi-Fi access, and it's just 24-hour access. So that's what that option is for. But we'll just select read online and go into the full text of the book. So there's quite a few options there on the screen. I'll just mention a few of them. In the top right corner there, we have access to a variety of accessibility tools. So for example, you could increase the size of the text on screen to make it easier to read, or you can select a read aloud option, and there are other tools there to use as well. On the left-hand side, you have the contents pages. So if you just want to go to a particular individual chapter to read, that's very easy to select that. There's also an annotation option, so you can make notes within the ebook and add bookmarks and have them saved for the next time you log in. There's a dictionary if you need to look up the meaning of any words. And there's also a search option, so you could search further within that individual ebook with keywords if you needed to do so. So that's just a very quick summary about how some of our electronic books work. So I'll just go back to the home page now and just to remind you that there's lots of options available there to contact us if you have questions. And so please don't hesitate to get in touch with us if you do have questions.